Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of GOW, the Generation Wrestling Podcast. As always, it's yours truly, the 29-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King Two Code in the building. Bro, what's good?
Man, what it do? What it do? What's good with the people, man? As we are doing the Hood Report, aka after every live show, the Sober Show, as we recover from last
Yeah,
night and get some more clear thoughts to the things that we saw. But
absolutely,
before then,
absolutely.
what's up with the people, man? What's good with you, bro?
Hey man, everything is everything. Last night, the Terramana did us right. The wives, they put on a hell of a cooking exhibition. They did us right. Hey, I mean, look, we had cake, we had good drink, good food, good wrestling. And we also had a little bit of controversy, man. Let's dive right into it. So MJF was the first person yesterday to speak at the post AEW Revolution Media Scrum. It was he and Tony Khan, and boy, oh boy, has MJF been making the rounds. So, hey, if you didn't see what happened yesterday or happened to go on the internet, then you might have missed the fact that MJF took what we all thought at the time was a cup of water and threw it on the little kid. Now, I know you probably thinking to yourself, okay, first of all, he shouldn't be throwing anything on a little kid, but a cup of water, it's wrestling. It's MJF. You kind of made an excuse for that, and then it was later found out that that was indeed not a cup of water, but instead tequila, and that changes the whole thing. Also, with professional wrestling, there's these things called, much like the industry itself, music industries and all kind of other industries, things called plants, on which people are placed in a specific scenario or situation to make something look like it's something that's really not. Turns out the kid wasn't a plant either. He was a legitimate fan who had no idea what the hell was coming to him. Now, with that being said, we go to the post scrum, the post media scrum, right? And
Mhm.
bro, you could see Tony Khan look visibly pissed with MJF, dude. And the actual media scrum itself aired about 20 minutes later than it was supposed to. And Tony Khan said that he and MJF had a very serious talking about what happened, what transpired before that. And of course, the internet, man, was going crazy. You got people who's like, hey, man, it's part of wrestling. He's a heel, whatever. Then you got other people like, hey, bro, like that's a kid, man. You can't be throwing liquor on the kid. Too cold, man. What are your first of all? What are your thoughts on the match between Danielson and MJF? We got to put that one out there. Got to give him his credit, them their credit, and then of course the shenanigans, man, that happened during the match.
Um, the main event itself was good. It
Yeah,
was a good. It was a. I. You know what? That was a quick 60 minutes. It didn't feel long. They
yeah,
kept the pace. They kept the action. Uh,
mm-hmm.
I had no problem with the match. I had no problems with the match. Not even the sudden death. I didn't have a problem with that either.
Yeah,
Uh, the outside in the crowd. Now, when he grabbed the line, I don't know if he paid attention to what he grabbed. Maybe he thought it was just a water bottle or whatever, and just grabbed it and poured it, and just being an asshole. That's
yeah,
MJF. He's being an asshole. That okay. So it's like, all right, we got no problem there. But uh, that's the only kind of excuse that I can give him for pouring liquor on the kid because we thought it was a bottle of water, a bottle of
yeah,
water. We all thought it was a bottle of water. I didn't think that was nothing else. Bottle of water, oh, it's just water. It's cool. He was a kid. The kid could have still been physically upset
yeah,
because he
yeah,
got water poured on him. But that just adds to the heel. It's no different than making a kid cry or any of the other stuff. But for it to be liquor, yeah, okay, that's a bit different. But
yeah.
again, it wasn't a plant. It was totally off the script. It wasn't part of the show. It wasn't part of him going in and doing something.
Right.
Um, so you never know how people sometimes take those type of things, in which the kid did not take that too kindly. And the report also said that a lot of officials from AEW went and talked to the kid, you know, kind of smooth things over with him, and just they felt bad and apologized and whatnot. So
Right. Right.
they did reach out to that family and whatnot. But um, so I can get the heelness of that, the heat from that. But again, um, this is wrestling. MJF has always, he's an habitual line stepper, as we like to say. He
Yeah,
habitually oversteps the line all the time.
all the time.
Promos, actions in ring, whatever. Is it a valid excuse? No, but
Yeah,
it is what it is. So it's like you can find them, you can make them apologize, you can. I don't think you finna take the title off of him right now. That ain't finna happen. So
yeah.
now if he had punched the kid, sure,
Right, right, right.
or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that. Man, it was still wrong. It wasn't cool. To find out it's liquor and not water, that kind of
yeah.
adds to it after the fact. But I think in
Mhm.
the heat of the moment, not knowing that that was liquor, it was and poured it. But I mean, would we really complain if it was any other fan? I mean, now if it wasn't a kid, if it was an
Right, right,
adult,
right. Yeah, yeah.
would
You
there
wouldn't,
still be the
you
same
wouldn't care.
complaint?
You
Right,
wouldn't care.
because it's a kid. Now let's you can't forget the liquor aspect of it now. But again, on assumption of what we saw when we saw it, we all thought it was a bottle of water. We've seen people get beer splashed on them. I mean, it's not the first time I've seen a wrestler take beer or something and pour it on a fan. Now you can
Yeah.
say sometimes that those a lot of those might have been a plant, but sometimes they weren't plants. They were real fans that got beer and stuff poured on them, and the company had
Right,
to make
right.
cool with them, make sure everything was all good. But heels did those type of things. So I again, it's not excusable, but it's
Yeah,
not the first time I've ever seen that. But hopefully, everything is cool. It's squared away. Uh, MJF will have to eat whatever it is he gets from Tony Khan and
yeah.
move forward.
All right, man. Well, moving forward, so we had that, dude. All right, let's we ain't got a lot of women action in here, man. So let's talk a little bit about the women. So, we ended up having Jamie Hayter. She retained her championship in a triple threat match against Saraya and Ruby Soho. Uh, I think a lot of people, in my personal opinion, I believe a lot of people expected maybe Ruby Soho to kind of join Saraya and the others, the outsiders, if you will. But
And she
I
did.
will,
But
but I will say this, and a lot of people seem to agree. The way she did it was so smooth. Like that was smooth. It almost reminds me of that time when Finn Balor was in NXT, right? And I believe it's like him and Adam Cole. I can't remember who he was talking to down there. And it was I forgot who it was. And they was talking, and he just hit that smooth ass Pele kick out of nowhere. Like just talking to pow. Like
oh, that was whoever the champ was. I think that was Gargano.
yeah, and but so this, like I said, I anticipated it, but the way because look, dude, like Soho and Saraya, they were going at it all match. Like they played that off so well, like beating the hell out of each other. Actually, Saraya was getting her ass whooped most of the match by Soho. So the fact that Soho turned around and then they like all aligned with Tony Storm and everybody, I was like, okay, I'm not mad at it, but it
I
kind
mean,
of made
because
it.
the reason why I think it did that is because she still played on the fact that she was the outsider of both groups. That she
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
with Hater and them, but she wasn't with Tony and them, and she was
yeah,
still fighting both of them as equally hard. So when she first hit Tony and Saraya, and
yeah.
then hit Jamie and Britt, I didn't
Hmm.
have a problem with that because it's like, well, that's been consistent with who you've been for these last couple of weeks that you've
Right,
been
right,
going
right.
back and forth. It's been who you siding with. You ain't sided with nobody. You weren't for either one. So then to take the spray can from Soraya and then to show her true colors, yeah, that was pretty cool. And we'll see what comes from it because now I want to see who comes back or who joins Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. And I don't know if this would have been a moment where having a rebel, but I don't know if rebel adds to the star power that you want. That's the
Right.
problem. I could see somebody joining back. Maybe it's Sheeta. Maybe Sheeta comes back. We ain't seen her in a while. Because she always felt some type of way about Tony Storm not picking her or Saraya not picking her. When they had that, for that match or whatever. So
Right.
there's some people you can use, and you have a storyline and wait.
Yeah. All right, so we got that. Like I said, our girl Jamie Hayter ended up retaining her championship. All right, man, let's move forward, man. Let's talk a little violence. I'm talking about Texas Death Match. We got that boy John Moxley versus Adam Hangman Page. Bro, we
Yeah.
watched it like
Yep.
many people. It
Yep.
was brutal. I will say it was everything I expected and then a lot more. Um,
A lot.
dude,
It was everything we expected and too much more. I'll say that because
so
it was a
here's
lot that went over a little too far.
so here's my thing. Got to play devil's advocate here. Did I feel like it crossed the line? Yes. Will I complain about it crossing the line? No. And the reason I say that is because, bro, we watch ECW. We've seen this times 10. We've seen shit worse than this. We've seen the matches that Mick Foley's been in, where he had his ear ripped off. We've seen Mick Foley going through flaming barbed wire tables. We've seen Ed spear Mick Foley through a flaming table, and that could have went terribly wrong. We've seen these Japanese death matches. So it's like the one thing I will say, I would give you this, and then I'm gonna let you take the floor. The one thing I will say that maybe, well, I'm not gonna say maybe, it did go too far, was the fact we seen Moxley literally stabbing dude with a fork. I'm like, okay, that part, okay, that was that to me, that was a little much.
That's not what I felt was too much. What I felt was
Really?
too much was just it was just the bleeding. The bleeding was too
Okay.
much. Remember,
Oh,
I told you one of the things that kind of was a negative was that
yeah,
Moxley has been bleeding a lot lately. Like he's
that is
like
fair.
every week this dude has been bleeding all over
I'm
the place.
surprised he ain't
So
got no type of hepatitis or something. I don't know, some type
right,
of
so you know what I'm saying. So the man, the shock and awe of when you see someone bleed was
yeah.
kind of not there. Um,
I agree.
and, and maybe it's the fact that Moxie's just so reckless, but it's been controlled reckless. And
Yeah,
now when you think of the match, now when we think of the match and the fort, I mean it's a Texas death match. Okay, uh, Texas death match.
yeah,
They were supposed to go too far. That's why
yeah.
I say it was everything we expected, and they went
Right.
too far because
Yeah.
they were supposed to go too far. I said it should have been truly an unsanctioned match. It should have been a lights out. They should have ended it
That
at the
that
show.
would have fit the
Did the
bill a little
lights
more
out?
adequately.
Did the lights out? Turn the
Yeah.
lights back on. Okay,
Hmm.
we washed our hands with this, so
Right,
now
right,
you
right.
know what you about to see is
Yeah,
about to be off the hook.
yeah.
They gave it to us in a death match. It was legal. Where were they at in Texas? They weren't in Texas. They were
Mm.
where were they at yesterday? I forgot where the hell they were at yesterday. They were in California, I think, somewhere. But either way, go. It was legal.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was legal, and yeah, man, Page is a soldier because he took that he took that for it because you
He took
saw
it.
Moxley's poke him, and it sparked the cut on his forehead. Like you seen the blood gush once he really hit him. So
Right,
hey
right,
man,
right.
they this was a blood rivalry. I mean, the match was exactly what it was supposed to be. It was a blood rivalry between two guys who have respect for each other, but want to beat the holy. They wanted to beat the holy shit out of each other, and they did
Yeah.
that. And some people could handle it, some people can't. It was a little bit much. It was all of that stuff, but that's the nature of the match. We had a guy, my guy, what was his name? I forgot his name. Bill,
Damn. Yeah.
the, the mountain wrestler, the
Yeah,
mountain
yeah,
wrestler.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot his
yeah.
name, but I had to go back and look at it.
Right,
But
right, right.
like he said, man, this is what they're supposed to do. But we've
Yeah.
seen worse than this. That's the thing. I've seen worse than this.
A lot worse. A
So
lot
yeah,
worse.
it was off putting. It was off putting to some people, but I've seen worse
Yeah.
recently. So it's not. It is what it is. I mean, hell, we just saw a lights out match where they really went all out extra in that match too. So I guess in a
Man.
way you can say this was kind of tamed, but I can see where some people felt it was too much.
All right, man. So then, after that, speaking of specialty matches, we got Jungle Boy finally putting it in, seemingly putting it in as they buried their hatchet, man. Him and Christian Cage, that's over with. Thank God. All right, man. But let's talk about another star making performance. Let's talk about that boy. Pretty Ricky Starks. Absolute Ricky Starks going up against Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho now at AEW Revolution is officially 0-4. Ricky Starks, man, he was on the rise and then he went through a little slump over the winter, slowly rising back from the ashes. And what a hell of a person to beat Chris Jericho. Bro, what are your thoughts on the match? What did you think about Ricky Stark's performance, and of course Chris Jericho going out on his back for the young upstart?
I mean, Starks was this is the one thing that we always kind of say, well, not kind of say, we always consistently say about AEW.
Uh oh, did you
It's
freeze
like
up
Chris
on me?
Jericho putting over a guy is around to do these things and to put on a decent match. And it was a decent opening match. I won't say it was the greatest thing ever, but no, it was a good match, and the right person won to elevate him to get Starks over. So now it's just about the follow through. That's what's going on, Kevin. That's
What
the
up,
whole
Kev?
thing. Now it's like that. Now that we gotten it, it's like now what's going to be the follow through of Ricky Starks winning. So that's more of what I'm in.
Got you. It's right now. Come on, let's go. Stream is kind of freezing up on us right now. There we go. All right.
Yeah, I think it's mine. I think AT&T trying to get me this time, and I ain't even got
Yeah.
AT&T.
Oh man. All right. So let's see. We got that. What am I missing? I'm missing the match. I'm missing the match. What am I missing?
Well, so we're missing a couple of matches. We got the Fatal Four Way, and then we got the Trios match. I mean, we got the Warlow beat Samoa Joe, but I mean, that was Warlow beating Samoa Joe. Uh, the
All right.
the Ass Boys, you
Ass
know,
boy, you kicked out for a second, but you back.
where the Ass Boys have retained their championships, which kind of sucked. But and then of course, man, we got the new Trios champion, the House of Black, that defeated the Elite. And definitely want to see where they transpire and go after there, man. So I'm gonna ask you, bro. The Elite versus House of Black. What did you think of the match? How did you feel about what you saw? And are you still excited about the potential one-on-one matchup of Malakai Black and Kenny Omega?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about the potential of a Malachi Black Kenny Omega, man. That's a matchup I didn't know I wanted to see until I saw them
Last
teasing it in
night,
the ring yesterday. So I'm like,
right?
okay, cool. Like I'm ready. It's time for Kenny Omega to go back on his singles run. It was cool to have him, with the elite for. Yeah, well, even when he was the champion, he was still with the elite. But I think right now, man, if Kenny, if he's at the end of his rope or getting closer to it, I want to see him have a little more single success, man, before we know whatever he decides to do, whether it's keep going a little longer or hang it up. Um, and then the Young Bucks, the Young Bucks are going to be the Young Bucks regardless. So that's that. But as far as Malachi Black and Kenny Omega, absolutely give it to me. I want it, dude. Yeah. I did not know I wanted to see this until, like I said, I seen them sitting in the ring on the mat doing the 1-2, kind of teasing each other a little bit. I'm like, you know what? This is insane. Let's go.
Right, right. All right, man. So we got the new trios champion, but we had the retention, like I said, of the Ass Boys, but we got the return of the 7-star FTR. They returned with no. Obviously, we watched. Well, we didn't watch them, but we know they lost the Ring of Honor tag team championships to the Briscoes before the timely uh, um, passing of Mark not Mark. What was the other Briscoe's name?
Uh,
The one that passed away. Uh,
Jay.
Jay Briscoe. Uh, so that was kind of like the most recent last match that they had, which was something that they put back on. They ended up retaining the championship. So we know FTR lost the belts there. I'm assuming they've lost the AAA tag team titles that they've held for like 3 years.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
which is like, all right, it's like kind of glad y'all got finally let go of those. But now they seem to be back and focused. Leo, what's going on? Yo, 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 what it do? Um, Now that they seem back to be focused to the FT, well, not only that, but they seem to be staying in in AEW,
right,
maybe
right,
not going back to WWE, but now definitely going back after those AEW tag team titles and going after the Ass Boys. Do we
yeah.
see FTR quickly, and I mean quickly, taking them titles off them boys?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And the rumor is, and I can't confirm nor deny, but what I've seen online is that FTR has been believed to re-sign an extension with AEW. So if that's the case, yeah, man, I definitely see the ass boy. But we said this though. We said we see them being transitional champions, and FTR is the way to go. And I feel like you can push FTR the way they should have been pushed the last time they were tag team champions. I mean, yeah, they were popular, but they were
But
popular
they were
because
heels. They came in as heels though. That was the thing. They were playing heels, so they weren't the good guys that they are now when they were
yeah,
first champions.
true, true, true. And my thing is, I feel like when they had the titles, they was fighting everywhere else but AEW. So now all right, let's get these guys on AEW
Did it really? I
television.
thought they fought. They were fighting constantly on AEW. I thought they were fighting. I liked that they fought everywhere because I didn't feel like they were missing anybody. They were fighting everybody.
That's true, but then they kind of got to a point to where it's just like they were fighting, 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 and then you just didn't see them for a while, and then they randomly
Eh,
pop up, and then there's like, well, damn,
I
bro,
mean,
you still you still the tag team champ. But then
well,
again, though, I
they
maybe
were
it's
going to different company. You got to think about it, but they were
yeah,
going to different company. Remember, Tony Khan allowed these guys to
yeah.
go wrestle for other promotions. So if they were still making time for AEW, but yeah, they had to take some time off because dude,
You
they
right,
wrestling their asses
you
off.
right. You right. Maybe I just wanted too much. I wanted too much. You right. You right. They was wrestling other promotions. I guess everybody can't be a clone. You right.
You stupid.
Message.
But nah, man. But I'm glad to see my guys are back, and that definitely that just adds to the tag team division
Yeah.
as right now, and I'm not mad about it. And right now, I think that right now AEW's got a nice tag and trio division,
Mm-hmm.
and we definitely going to get some good quality matches and see a lot of people. A lot of people in the ring that we didn't get to see before.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Leo, he asked me, so I got to do it. He said, franchise hit the give me what I want. So hold on. I got you. There you go.
Got to give them people what they want. But
Hey, man.
yeah,
Look,
man, not
he get them
bad, man,
going.
not bad, not a bad show, not a bad
Yeah.
show though, man. Overall, 8 matches. I would say 5 of them were worth the time of the pay per view. A couple of them
Yeah.
kind of just, they were just kind of there. Didn't really expect too much from them. The Christian Cage and Jungle Boy didn't expect too much. The Warlord and Samoa Joe, I didn't really expect too much.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not to say I didn't expect a lot from the Starks and Jericho, but it was better than the other two. And other than that, all the rest of the match. I mean, the triple threat match was cool. The women's match was cool. Of course, the fatal four way, the trios match, uh, the death match, and then of course the Iron Man match. All of that was fine. A solid pay per view. I would give it a 4.
Yeah.
Because I think the pay per view before the main event was maybe a 3, three and a
Mm-hmm.
half, but then that main event, that main event put it to a
You put it
4,
up
a
there.
solid
Yeah.
4. Yeah, it put it to a solid 4. So I'm good with it. I was good with the pay per view overall.
No, I mean, I look, bro. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I enjoyed the pacing of the matches. I enjoy everything flows smooth. I didn't feel like I felt like a couple matches went quick, but then when you see how the main event played out and things like that, it made sense. I really
Mhm.
feel like the way he structured that card, and that's one thing I say about AEW. Say what you want about the TV shows. Say what you want about the backstage drama and the post media scrums and all that. When it comes to bell, match to match, the flow of the card, man,
Mhm.
it's like listening to a good CD front to back. When I think of a classic album, man, it's all about the song structure and the order you place the
Mhm.
songs. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's how you start, then you got to kind of transition right there in the middle, and then you got to go out with a bang at the end. So it's all about that flow. You can have
Yeah.
great songs, but if it ain't structured right, you know, the symmetry and just how everything's supposed to come together, if it ain't right, you know, it throws everything out of whack. The chi ain't there. You feel
The
me? And I
chi,
feel like I feel like the chi, the power of the chi, the feng shui was with Tony Khan last
the
night.
swizzle.
Yes, sir. But no, I enjoyed it thoroughly. You know, I mean, a lot of people gonna hate, a lot of people gonna complain. But my thing is this: everything isn't for everybody. But if you're honestly hating on AEW right now, if you're hating on their pay-per-views, bro, you literally are just nitpicking. Okay, like I say, there's gonna be some stuff that you don't like, but you can't sit up here and not give this man
And
his
it's
credit.
not perfect. And it's
It's
not
not.
perfect.
It's not.
We will be quickly to say,
Yeah,
damn,
yeah,
AEW is not perfect, man.
bro.
There's a lot.
I
There's
will
some
get.
things they could do differently or do better.
I will get on AEW just like I get on WWE, just like I get on Impact Wrestling. But the one thing I can't say this man puts on bad pay per views. Some, of course, aren't as good as others, but no shit. Of course they're not, you know, because they all offer something different. But look, great match card, smooth flowing. We got good stories, started, ended, finished, continued, developed, you know. And at the end of the day, look, I'm ready. I'm ready. And somebody said this perfectly before we get out of here. It's like AEW always somehow finds a way to cool off, and people try to write off AEW, and then Tony Khan just throws out a match card at a pay per view, and it's like, all right, well, AEW back on the uptick again. You know, it's like every time you try to count him out, he proves you wrong with a pay per
That's
view, a
be
solid pay per view.
that's because they don't rush through their
Yeah,
storylines. If anything, the complaint may be, damn, this story is still going on, but you have to
yeah,
remember, we're not used to long-term storytelling.
yeah,
We're not
yeah.
used to it in the abundance that we get it on AEW. We're used to
Absolutely.
maybe one or two stories being long term, but then
Yeah,
everything else is so quick. Everything else just goes through. We're not used to this and the fact that they don't do a lot of pay-per-views. So a lot of
yeah.
stuff, Tony's got to spread that stuff out. It's got to last for a while, but
Right,
it's
right, right.
long-term storytelling. And we're not used to that. People aren't used to that. We're used to the crap that we've been getting until
Hmm.
AEW came in. And even if you want to say well, everything that Tony ain't doing is perfect, it's not. But some of that stuff, man, it's actually pretty
Yeah,
good. And the people that
pretty
are in
damn
it are doing their damn thing. So you can't you can if you want to just be that person, but if you're objectively looking at it, then no, man, you can't totally be negative on everything. Like everything can't be that goddamn bad. But you can't
yeah,
look at WWE and be like, oh, that everything that they're doing is so perfect. That's
yeah.
that's my disagreement with people. It's just saying, oh, this is how far superior WWE is. Yeah, we know how
Right.
far superior and product WWE is, and legacy. Sure, it's WWE, it's the standard. I mean, hell, they put WCW out of business, but if WCW hadn't been stupid, WWE might have been put out of business. Point
Right, right,
being,
right.
whichever, we understand the levels are different, but we got to appreciate the importance of wrestling. This is a
Yeah,
wrestling company where WWE is an entertainment company that does some wrestling. Even though Triple H has been trying to change that as of lately, and has been doing a pretty damn good job of it because they definitely been putting on some good wrestling matches. But
right, right.
WWE is still more of an entertainment with, hey, we're going to entertain you, but we got some wrestling to go along with it. Where AEW is giving you the wrestling, and then they'll figure out the entertainment shit as we go along.
Absolutely, absolutely. But hey, look, man. So we had to come give y'all the sober report as we get ready to
Yeah.
gear up, man, and watch a little bit of Monday Night Raw because we got to come to you live with that Monday Night Raw block party and do what we do, how we do, as we do. With that
John
being said,
Cena's back in town, man. John Cena's back in
John
town.
Cena
Austin
back.
Theory. I told
He
you,
back.
man, it was gonna happen. Theory
Yeah,
gonna show up and show John Cena that respect that he thinks he deserves to have. So I'm definitely
hey,
interested to see what that is.
this
And
could be
what also
Austin
was gonna
Theory's
come for.
ruthless aggression moment.
I mean, it could be, in which I'm not mad at it. If John accepts the match for WrestleMania, cool. Put it on night two or night one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it mattered. But the fact that you're putting the Intercontinental Champion on WrestleMania, you putting the United States Champion on WrestleMania, where Vince would even do that. He would have put
yeah,
them on like SmackDown or Raw and just left them there. These are your best mid card titles. You want to put
Yeah.
them on the biggest show. I mean, some of the best matches were intercontinental United States matches on
Yeah.
WrestleMania. It wasn't just the big title. So no, I'm glad for that, and I'm hoping we get something interesting tonight.
All right, well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generation Wrestling Podcast. See you
We'll
soon in a
be
couple
back.
hours. Yes, sir. And you know this. Peace.